Why don't we just start with well, first of all, welcome everybody. Thank you, Lafayette, for that valuable information. And we could just introduce guys. So, Lafayette, why don't you start? Tell them your name and a little background about you as far as real estate.
Sure thing. My name is Lafayette Harris. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I've been living in New York since 1985, and I am a musician and had branched out into real estate starting in about 1996, 97. Um, and since then, I bought a few houses in Brooklyn. I bought some buildings in the state of Pennsylvania, namely the city of Pittsburgh, and also bought some land from my mother in Virginia, and have a rental property on that land down there. So that's my general real estate experience.
All right, Reg Woods.
Yes, okay. My name is Reggie Woods. I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised South Side, Jamaica, Queens. Had the fortune of getting involved in real estate in the 90s when I purchased my first house, and then went on to purchase property in 3 states currently. I'm also a professional musician, and that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Reg. Native New Yorker. Okay. Other native New Yorker, James.
I'm from the real New York, from Harlem. But
oh boy.
If you can't be from Harlem, I guess Jamaica's all right. But yeah, so I'm unlike my associates here. I'm not a musician, although I did play the radio and the record player for a long time. I'm a CPA by day, involved in real estate, have properties in New Jersey, also have ownership of properties in Mississippi, believe it or not, and in Texas. And also deal with a lot of real estate issues for my clients, one of whom is probably calling now. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell in terms of my involvement with real estate, and in addition to my involvement with this group that we established, I guess it's been about a year now.
All right, thanks. My name is Reggie Pittman. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, the one and only Cleveland. And I've been in real estate since about 1987. I do business in 3 states, Ohio, New York, and New Jersey. And my focus has always been pretty much one unit residential housing, so just single family. And so what we did is we all came together to collectively invest in properties. We call ourselves Rich Real Estate Investment Corporation in Housing, and we develop communities. So this is some of the members. Just want to make sure that you know who we are. We have a website called richusa.net, and then we have an email. So you can check out everything from the website and go from there. All right, Lafayette, thanks, man.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I've talked a little bit, and I just basically want to open it up. To other members of the group, if you want to chime in on our discussion today, is why you should own a home.
Well, I focused on Generation Z, right? So Generation Z are those that's under 30 years old as of now. And they're the first generation that are pretty much the digital generation. They all were born with cell phones and all of that stuff. which we accumulated, most of us, as far as the rich members, in our adulthood. Um, so with Generation Z, being young and buying a house, I came up with 10 reasons. And throughout this, I'll give you all 10, but I'm going to just start with one right now. There's a limited amount of land. Now, there are about 3 million square miles of the United States of land, right? So, and if there's 330 million people, that means that, you know, if it's 3 million people, everybody get an acre. 30 million people, everybody gets a 1/10 of an acre. 300 million people, everybody gets 1/100th of an acre, relatively, right? I see James looking kind of, just stay on mute. All right, so that means, you know, and we're not counting children. I'm just saying that, but we're just counting everybody. That means that there's a limited amount of land, so you can get your small amount of land if everybody owns it. Everybody's not going to own it, so you can get more than just that 1/100th of a square mile, because everybody's not really going to take advantage of the privilege, right? It's not a right, but the privilege of owning the land. So there's no more land being made, so you might as well get yours. And as you accumulate time, right, then as Lafayette said, then you're going to accumulate wealth. So I want to start with that. There's a limited amount of land, so you might as well own yours so you can do it. Anybody else as far as do it? I'll give you the other 9 as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to piggyback on a couple of things that Lafayette had mentioned. You know, real estate real estate equity is probably the largest equity holding for people in the United States. So people who own homes usually are the ones who have a holding of equity. There are other ways to build equity, but for most people who are not professional investors and pretty much live a normal life, that is usually where most of their equity is held, in their home. So that right there tells you you need to own a home if you want to have a base of equity. You know, you got stockbrokers and all other types of investments that you can build equity in. But I think the easiest way to establish equity is to own a home and hold it for a period of time to build up some equity. Now, it's funny that, you know, oftentimes people don't even realize the value of what their house is capable of doing in terms of equity. And Lafayette mentioned that, you know, I've seen it in Brooklyn, where older people had purchased a building, you know, 40, 50 years ago, and they may have paid $20,000 for a 4-story brownstone. And then someone knocks on their door and says they would offer them $1 million for their building. They're like blown away. They don't even realize that they have that kind of equity in their property that they own. And that's a problem. It means that people really don't understand how building wealth and equity works. And oftentimes when you offer someone $1 million for a house that they paid $20,000 for, they're going to take it. Not knowing that their property may be worth a whole lot more, but $1 million just sounds good, you know. Who doesn't want $1 million? You know, so it means we need to be educated about how to work our real estate, how to work the equity in our property. How you can refinance and pull out cash. You can pull out that cash and do other things, you know. But it's something that we need to learn about. Yeah, so I just wanted to throw those 2 things out real quick, and I'll let someone else talk now.